All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, last night the Philadelphia 76ers were eliminated from the NBA playoffs by the Atlanta Hawks, and plenty of blame for that is being placed at the feet of guard Ben Simmons. Now, for the 7-game series, Simmons averaged 9.9 points, 8.6 assists, and 6.3 rebounds. And it's Simmons' scoring issues that have been hurting both him and the Sixers alike. At this point in Simmons' career, he is a liability on offense, as the Sixers are not getting any contribution from him in regards to scoring. Simmons only had 5 points in the Game 7 loss on 4 shots. And then, this was on top of his bad free throw night in Game 5, where the Sixers blew that big lead and lost at home to Atlanta. And in that contest, Simmons was only 4 for 14 from the charity stripe. Now, throughout Simmons' career, his perimeter game has always been in question. He has only made 5 career three-point shots for his NBA career. And make no mistake about it, since he came into the league as the first overall pick several years ago, his game has not improved. You look at Simmons' play right now on offense, and he simply lacks confidence. This guy is only a 59% career free throw shooter, and then this postseason, he just shot barely above 34% from the charity stripe. And you look at the amount of money that Simmons is being paid, and he's not being paid to go out there and not score. The Sixers definitely need more of an impact from him. He came into this league as a point guard, but the bottom line is Ben Simmons is not a point guard, and I've said this for the past couple of years. I think it would be in his best interest and that of the Sixers to switch him to a small forward. You look at it right now, he's not the floor general that's going to go out there and take charge. And I know that a lot of the blame for the Sixers' loss is definitely going to be on Ben Simmons, but make no mistake about it. This Sixers team has issues from the standpoint that the bottom line is they lack leadership, because throughout this series, when their backs were against the wall, nobody really stepped up and said, you know what, not on my watch. And the guys that you would expect to be that, or you would hope to fill that void if you were the Sixers and their fan base, would be Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. And as good as Joel Embiid is, he's not that guy. And of course, Ben Simmons is not that guy, because he lacks the ability to take a game over. You look at it right now, honestly, Ben Simmons is 6'10". Anytime you get a big guy with a handle, people naturally want to compare him to Magic Johnson. There is no other Magic Johnson. And honestly, the closest thing that we probably will ever see to Magic Johnson at the NBA level is LeBron James. But make no mistake about it. If Ben Simmons were 6'2" as opposed to being 6'10", he probably wouldn't be getting the leeway that he has right now at this point in his career, and he might have been traded already. And from Simmons' standpoint, the parade could pass him by, and I'm saying that from this. Everybody gets to the NBA because of their ability. All of those guys are talented. That is why there's only 60 guys drafted every year. There's only several hundred guys that make an NBA roster each year and in and out. So that just lets you know the elite level of athlete that it takes to get there, compete, and stay there. For Simmons, you can see it. He's not the first and he's not the last, but he falls into the category of he's always been the best athlete on the floor. That is no longer the case. And everybody, and I mean everybody, for them to stay at the NBA level, they have to work on their game. And Ben Simmons, I've said it before, and I will reiterate it right now. He is at the fork in the road of his career, because do you want to just be an average player who has potential, or do you want to maximize your potential? We'll have to wait and see. Now, of course, Doc Rivers, the Sixers head coach, did make some questionable comments, in some people's eyes last night following the Game 7 loss. He kind of backtracked from that, and now he's saying today that the Sixers want to do everything possible to help Simmons improve his game offensively. I think first and foremost, Simmons has to get his confidence, and he has to get his swagger going. You don't need Ben Simmons to go out there and beat Steph Curry. You don't need Ben Simmons to go out there and beat Kevin Durant. But what you need Ben Simmons to do is have confidence driving to the basket, have confidence posting guys up, have confidence leading that fast break. I mean, he had a wide open shot for a layup last night in the fourth quarter and passed out. I mean, that just lets you know where his offensive game is and where his confidence is right now. There are plenty of people that are going to say that the Sixers need to trade Ben Simmons. I've been saying that for the past couple of years, but at least right now on the surface, it looks like this Sixers regime is going to stick with Ben Simmons. But with that said, he's got to improve his game. This Sixers team lost partially because of Ben Simmons, but like I said, they lack a finisher. That's the bottom line. They don't have that guy that's going to take this game over in the fourth quarter and say, over my dead body. And until they get that killer instinct, these are the results that they're going to consistently have in the postseason. Philly can tear it up in the regular season, but what can you do in the playoffs? And we've seen it time and time again. What you cannot do is magnified in those most critical situations. Ben Simmons cannot hit those free throws consistently. Ben Simmons is not a scoring option at this point in his career for the Sixers, and it is a detriment because offensively they're basically playing 4-on-5. We've seen scenarios where Doc Rivers has had to take him out of games late. You see situations where opponents do the hack-a-bin, and that hurt the Sixers in this series. I mean, they blew big leads in games 4 and 5 versus Atlanta, and if they hadn't blown either one of those leads, we're not having this conversation right now. We're talking about a Sixers team that is prepping for the Eastern Conference Finals, but nonetheless, that is not the case. But you look at Ben Simmons, the bottom line is, if he doesn't figure it out sooner rather than later, he's going to be an afterthought. He came into the league with plenty of potential. He still has plenty of potential, but if he doesn't work on his game sooner rather than later, he's going to be in that category of one of those guys that always had potential and never lived up to the hype. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you are on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. Take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.